Well, hello and welcome to a kooky corner of YouTube where today we are going to make this little boy. Now he can be either a brooch or an ornament, or basically a little decoration you could put in a frame, but it's quite simple to make. You just need a few things. I've got some core creamy coloured wool. I don't want him to be completely white because snow never, I mean, it can be quite brilliant, so whatever you've got. So I've got this core creamy coloured wool, but I've also got some white merino wool tops, which I'm also going to be using. There's a little bit of embroidery, there's a little bit of detailing just with a few other odd colours. So I've got my scrap box with all my little bits of odds and ends in there. So if you've got some odds and ends of things to make a snowman with, to make his details with, because obviously he's got little black buttons, little black eyes, he's got a mandarin orange nose with a little shout out to the actual snowman, you know, the snowman and the snow dog, which I love. And I thought a carrot nose, yes, but a mandarin orange nose, that's the one we want to go for. And he's got a little scarf on. Now you can do this in many ways. I have got some of this yarn that I've had for years and never made anything with, and it's like perfect scarf material. But if you've got some felt, or if you want to just maybe I don't know, crochet or knit your own little tiny scarf, if you've got some very fine needles, that's something else you could do. It's really up to you. I'm going to use this because it's something that I've got. If you've got something similar, that could work, but again, just a piece of ordinary felt would work just as well. Or you could needle felt yourself a flat piece and then just make that into a scarf. All of those options are possible. Well, I'm just going to show you the little sketch I made. I hope I did put it in this book. Maybe I didn't. Ah, there he is. So that was my little sketch. I've also got one for a gnome there that I haven't made. But that's kind of how he ends up. And if you draw yourself something about the size that you actually want, then it's a good thing to have when you're making your piece, so you can kind of measure up to how it wants to go. Anyway, enough of the chat. Let's be getting on with how we put him together. So I'll give you a minute to have a little look. We're going to need a pair of scissors. You will need your kit of needle felting tools. I've got my big brush here, and this is a little brush that I lent my daughter. I'm on my daughter's desk today because she had a bit more room than I did, so I snuck over. So yeah, I've got my tools. We've got needle felting pen, which is a 3 needle one. I've got my spider who's holding my singular needles. We've got all the things. Tuck him back in there. And I've also got the big boy, which is a 5 needle. I don't know if I can show that. Let's have a look. Maybe it won't do it now. That it's kind of focused on the desk. I tried to play around with focusing so that it's not going in and out of focus the whole time. So I'll take you down a little bit. There we go. And we'll get on with the felting. So first of all, I've pulled off some of this creamy coloured core wool, and we're just going to try and make some shapes. First of all, let's try and make the head shape. It's quite a flat snowman. It's not completely flat, as you can see. It's got some dimension to it, but because it's a brooch, I didn't want it to be kind of too heavy, because if you put a brooch back on something that's really quite 3D, it tends to hang strangely, if you know what I mean. It's too heavy, so you don't want anything too heavy. So what I'm doing at the minute is just trying to get a shape of the head. Leave a little bit of floof left there. And what we're going to do is just flat felt this. As I say, I'm using my large felting brush. I might actually put something underneath that to stop it from making that very horrible bashing sound on the table, which is quite distracting. We use this duster. Why not? Why not use this? Yeah, let's do that. Okay, hoping I've got you in range. Yes, I do. Do a little bit of straightening. Okay. So, on with the job. If yours ends up a little bit different, it doesn't really matter. You can personalise it to however you want yours to look. I'm hoping I've managed to position my microphone in the correct place today as well. I always have trouble with where to put it, and I was reading up on it, also kind of reading up on the focus thing where it goes in and out of focus on the videos, so I think I might have managed to crack that because I've locked it in one position. The only thing I haven't managed to crack is the fact that it will wobble a little bit because needle felting makes your table wobble. Loosen that loose, loosey goosey. Come on, little man. So you're just going to go on with this until you've got a shape. It's a similar shape. You can either, it's kind of like the body shape actually. We could, no, I think it's going to be too small for the body. We'll continue head-wise. It's going to have another layer of wool put on top of it. This is just going to be the base for now. So you want to get it to be kind of circular for your head shape. Just keep moving it into position, and if you're worried about getting your fingers caught, we already know that's quite dangerous, so you can put one of these finger protectors on. I have a strange thing with these. Whenever I put one on, I tend to use one of my other fingers to hold it down. I'm like those dogs with socks on, you know, when you put a pair of socks on a dog and they walk weirdly. Well, I'm a bit like that with finger protectors. I don't know. How do we do? Hope we're all feeling fine, by the way, while I do a little bit of this felting. I'm feeling good. I'm kind of getting a little bit prepared for Christmas, which is a worry to me because I'm not normally very prepared. So I kind of think, what's going on? Why have I managed to get most of the things done I need to do? I suppose I should just continue and not question it, really. That's probably the way. Fervently hoping that this microphone is actually I might tuck that up there. Oh, I need to leave a little bit. Questioning my own choices here. Yeah, I am hoping that this microphone is positioned correctly. We'll soon know when I come to get to the editing point of this. Apologies in advance if I still haven't managed to crack it. I will get there one day. Right. So yeah, I'm going to keep going until this is kind of the size of his head, and we'll be back and I'll show you basically the same again for his round little body shape. But I'm going to do that now off camera and then we'll come back. Okay, so kind of got the head shape going on there. It's kind of there. We felt this more when we got some more of the when we put some more of this lovely off-white merino on top, because I want to put some of that on top just to smooth him down. Let's put that to one side for a minute. So then we're going to need a bigger bit for his belly, and kind of getting a piece together here. That's probably about right. So again, same thing. We are going to kind of flat felt it, not too flat. It still needs to have some dimension to it. Keep turning it over, because then you can decide which side you want to use, bearing in mind you want to use the flattest side. I do apologise for this jumping around on the table. This table is not quite as stable. It's not a stable table. It's not as stable as mine maybe. Also kind of worried I've got this microphone not in the right place, but we'll plough forward and hope that I'm not spitting my F's and P's at you. I hope you'll forgive me if I am. I'm trying lots of different methods to try and get both the focus and the microphone issues that annoy me sorted, so we'll get there. This is not very circular, is it? I do need to leave a little lip. Let's just pull it into the centre. That's going to be the best way. So you can see again, I'm kind of just trying to get the shape together. Let's kind of push that out together. That's better. Put a bit more fervent felting into the middle. Fervent felting, that's what we're doing today. And likewise, your edges, you know, you're going to need to felt those in. I use a singular one for this because I think it's really only the thing that works properly. You can kind of flatten it down a bit with your singular one as well in different places. Okay, that's kind of getting to where I want it to be, so I'm going to finish this off again. It's just a case of just keep going until you get the shape that you want, and then we're going to put both shapes together. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to pop these together. I'm going to take a little bit of that off because I might have too much there. And we're going to attempt to get these together before we wrap the final wool tops around it. When we do that, we can correct any kind of weirdnesses that are going on, so don't fret too much. You're just basically trying to get that underbody of your snowman together and making sure his head doesn't fall off, which is very important. Although for a snowman, I suppose it's one of the risks that you have in your life as a snowman. You know, always worrying about warmer weather. Unless you're Olaf from Frozen, obviously. It's one of my spirit creatures, Olaf. Definitely relate to Olaf. I have a few ritual things that I watch when it's this time of year. One of them being The Snowman and the Snow Dog, and the original Snowman by Raymond Briggs. I absolutely love, and my family then have to watch for the point where I lose it and start crying. And with The Snowman and the Snow Dog, it's usually within the first minute or two of it starting, because when the boy's dog, his actual real dog, old dog, dies, then I'm in bits already. You can nearly time it every time. Okay, so we're kind of getting there. I just want to do a bit on the back here. So I want you to go off now, try and get your shape to as near as damn it as the shape that you want your snowman to be, and then we'll be back and I'll show you how to do the tops. Okay, so I've pulled off some merino wool tops. Remember, when you're pulling it apart, don't like pull like that because it won't work. You have to do it really gently so it separates out into little bits. And what I'm going to do now, because this is quite a smooth thing, you could either get your carding brushes and card it, or just pull it apart a bit and mangle it up. And that's what I'm doing at the minute, just kind of floofing it so that it's not all smooth and all the fibres going in the same direction. It's still going to be fairly smooth because merino is, that's just the way it works. But I didn't have any Corriedale in a white colour, so I'm going with what I have. Hopefully it'll all come out in the wash. I mean, it did in this one, so fingers crossed it will work this time. So then what we want to do is kind of coat our snowman. Just kind of loosely wrap it around. It doesn't matter if some of the under colour shows through. I kind of like that a little bit. You do you. Obviously, if you want it to be completely white, then you're just going to have to keep going until all the little areas are filled in. But I'm just gonna kind of roughly wrap it around and hope for the best. Basically, that's basically my motto for life: wrap it around, hope for the best. Anyway, let's start getting some of this down. So you've got a basic shape to work to. You just have to kind of figure it around now, and you're just going to keep going. I don't want to keep joggling you around. I do apologise for the joggling of this table. I'm hoping you're getting the gist of this. One day I'll have a tripod that's not attached to the table, which would also be a big help. Yeah, I'll try and figure that out for the new year. I've tried many different options, whichever way I've tried it, because I've got one of those small gorilla tripod things, and that has to stand on the table, so it didn't make any difference. But I'm hoping to get some kind of freestanding tripod going along at some point. Anyhow, I think you can get the gist of what I'm doing here. Otherwise this video is going to be 6 years long and we'd all miss Christmas, which wouldn't be great, would it? So I'm going to keep going with this. I want you to keep going with yours until you are happy with the finish on the front of your snowman. And I'll be back to sort out his features in a short while. Okay, so back, vaguely the same shape. His head might be a little bigger, but you know, again, as I always say, it doesn't have to be perfect. Saying that, I've just lost my little wisp of pink. No, I don't. There we go. So what I did was, let me move you that way slightly. Been in my bit box, got out a little bit of black. This is Corriedale. This is also, I think, a Corriedale, and this is a little bit of pink merino. But you need tiny wisps, and you will not use all of that either just to do the features. It just shows you how small amounts, how many small amounts you need in order to do this. First thing I'm going to do is to get his nose on, because what's a snowman without his nose? And as I said previously, this little guy has a mandarin orange nose. So I'm just going to try and get myself a little mandarin orange ball going on here. That's the plan anyway. Does it look like a mandarin orange? Not quite yet. And if you wanted to make a carrot, you know, go ahead. It's just that I have my fondness for the Raymond Briggs Snowman, who has a mandarin orange, so that's the one I'm going with. Right, so we've got the basis of a mandarin orange going on here, and it's going to go about there in his face. So I've got a finer needle now, and I'm just kind of going around the edges of that piece in order to secure it into his face. I'm going to I don't want it to go too flat, so I'm just going to gently needle felt the fibres in the middle of it, but around the edges we're going to kind of push it in to the head, so that we still got that dimension on his nose, and just gently getting this into place. If you find you put it in the wrong place, you just rip it off. It's fine. You can just repair the underneath bit if it needs any reparation, and then just reposition it and put it back on again. It's very forgiving. So I need to just make sure all those edges are in. Again, I'm wobbling, I do apologise. Try not to wobble. Here we are, live from Wobbly Cam. Yeah, send me a message if you know of a good setup I could use. Because really, this seriously is annoying me slightly now because it wobbles, and I'm sure it annoys you as well. I do apologise. But if you know of a fix or something good that I can use, or just an idea for a tripod, put me a note down in the comments, please. I'd be eternally grateful, as would you, when you get a video to watch that's not wobbly. Okay. So we've got his nosy in place. You can keep going at that until you're happy with how it's positioned. Next, I'm going to get his little pink cheeks in, because the tiniest wisp of pink just at the side of his nose, just to give him a little pink cheek. There we go. And another one. Let's get that one in too. These are the quick bits. Don't take long to felt these in. You want your cheeks to be a little bigger, you can add more. I think I might need that to be a bit bigger. Just because. Again, you don't need to put these on, it's not necessary, but I'm going to do it. And a little more on this one. As you can see, the tiniest, weeniest pieces. That is why I never throw, or if I've got tiny bits left, I don't throw them away. Keep them in that bit box, and they always, always, always come in handy for making something. Let's get a little bit more on there. There we go. Okay, so now it's got his cheeks. Next thing, same amount really to do his eyes. Corriedale is great for this because it's not too thick. I'm trying to get pink. He doesn't want pink eye, does he? No one wants pink eye, especially not for Christmas or ever, really. Okay, so outing his eye in. I don't want it to look evil. He's a happy snowman. He's not an evil snowman. I've actually been busy doing some paper cutting. I do like to do that on occasion, and I have recently made myself a little design for Krampus. So I did a Krampus paper cut card. If you follow me on Instagram, pop over there and have a look and see my Krampus boy. That's his little coal eye. I think it's coal that they use in the Snowman. I'm sure it's little pieces of coal that Raymond Briggs uses. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, we have eyes going on. You can set it in because obviously you push them into the snow when you make a snowman, don't you? So set it in. Sorry, I did a sniff then. That's another thing that annoys me about this is like things that annoy me about my videos: wobbling, sniffing, inappropriate sniffing, and yeah, wobbling. Mainly the wobbling and the microphone. Yes. I think we might need a little bit more black on that one. I think the other eye was just slightly bigger. Again, if you absolutely hate it, you can just pull it out and try it again. But I don't need to do that, I don't think. I think we're just going to go make it a little bit bigger, set it in a bit. Yeah, we're good to go. He's got eyeballs. Right, I'm going to put some pieces of coal for his buttons on. I've often wondered why would a snowman have buttons on his body? I don't think he's wearing clothes apart from a scarf. So is it because the coat is supposed to be white and then you've got his button stuck in? I've got a bit of fluff from somewhere else now. Let's get that in. Again, leave me a note in the comments. Are snowmen naked? If so, why do we put buttons on them? Okay, there's an option not to. You don't have to put buttons on him. Okay, it's weird question time at Kooky Corners today. Still annoyed by that little bit of thread. I'm not really annoyed. I don't get annoyed very often. There we go. Irritated, probably more than annoyed. Okay, so now we have eyeballs, nose, mandarin orange nose, cheeks and buttons, and what we're going to do next is a little bit of embroidery. Don't at me on this. A little bit of embroidery is not, it's not going to be a big deal. I'll show you, absolutely no problem. If you don't want to embroider, you don't have to. You don't have to put his arms on, you really don't. I think he does need a smile though. If you wanted to, you could really tiny roll out a little piece and needle felt it in. I always have troubles with this. I need to perfect my technique. So let's try and do him a needle felted mouth. I'm just going to give him a little side smile. And this is one area where I will use scissors just to trim it off there. So he's got a little wistful side smile going on. So if you wanted to, you could even needle felt. Do you know what? You can sew these on, and I'm not going to show you the sewing on. Let's me try this as well. Let's try it with a wisp of the black here, just to give him a little stick arm. I need my let's see how we fare. I can always take it out again. That worked okay. Okay, let's see if we can put some fingeroos on him. Singular, there we go. So this is one way, or if you're not so confident with doing the wool version and you're happier doing the stitching, then do a stitched one. It's looking okay. Kind of a little bit happy with that. So we've got one arm. As I say again, you don't need much. What I'm doing is I'm kind of twisting it into a kind of yarn situation. I don't want that bit. And we're going to just singular needle, just to needle felt it in. See, I'm not happy where that's positioned. So look, see, you can just pull it out, do a little repair job, and then go back onto it. Let's try again. I'm trying to floof that out a bit. I don't want it to get too flat. So let me do a snip there, and let's put, I know, let's see if we can do a job down here. Singular needle, and down again, a bit thick, let's twist it. So you've got like a different size hands, but you know, just practice. It's all just practice. So either of those, the little embroidered mouth and hands works. Let's try and match up his arm to a similar thickness there. Singular needle. That will do nicely. So he's got little stick arms, he's got his eyes, he's got his cheeks, and now all he needs is a scarf. Now I told you that you can use a bit of felt, or I'm going to pick a nice bright colourful part of this yarn. I'm going to chop some off, and then I can decide which bit of it I'm going to use. So I think I'm going to go with there. I'm going to tie it round like a little scarf, which it is, that's his little scarf. And then I'm going to put it a bit tighter, and we can then position it a little bit in with our needle, felt it down, because this yarn will felt just as nicely. It's like a felt in itself that's just had a stitch put down it, so it's perfect. I was so happy when I found this. I thought, oh, that's going to be a great scarf. Bit on the back as well, keep it in place, and trim it off. Well, there he is. He's got a little scarf on. There's two of them there now. I think what I did with the end of this is, if you've got felt, you can just feather it to make it look like the fringe on a scarf. So there we go. Make your own little felted snowman. You can hang him as an ornament, or you can make him into a brooch if you put a brooch back on him, which I intend to do with both of these two, because one of these is for my daughter. Have a great rest of your week. I will be back on Friday with another video, and I think this time I'm going to be showing you my top 10 favourite art supplies of 2022, so don't forget to tune in if you're interested in that. I'll be back soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye for now.